Welcome to Jane Fitzcostellia and D. Bell Company 2024, the movie. Here we traverse through 2024 alongside your hosts, Jane Fitzcostellia and the D. Bell Company. We explore beyond the inception of their initial book, Culinary Tales, venturing into a year rich in diverse tastes, from the tame to the peculiar. Our palates embarked on an international journey, visiting quaint home kitchens and revered chefs' grand dining halls. The year's pinnacle was the launch of our inaugural book, Culinary Tales, a vibrant collage of narratives, experiences, and recipes mirroring 2024's gastronomic voyage. Each page embodies the enthusiasm, inventiveness, and boldness the culinary sphere. This film is a sentimental look back on the elapsed year, an homage to its highlights, acknowledgement of its lows, and a jovial chuckle at the absurdities encountered. Remember, this is meant for amusement. We're not critiquing but reminiscing and savouring 2024's stirrings. So recline, relax, and brace yourself for a journey of flavours. From the vegan shepherd's pie shining under the sun to the daring beetroot curry that tested culinary boundaries, 2024 was indeed a flavourful journey, don't you agree? Culinary Tales certainly had its fair share of memorable moments. It was an extraordinary gastronomical spectacle that unfolded throughout the year. This was not your regular cooking show where everyday meals were prepared. These were dishes that not only challenged the conventional norms of cooking, but also pushed the boundaries of creativity and innovation to a whole new level. Every dish that was prepared was unique, carrying its own signature of flavours and presentation. Take presentation. Take the vegan shepherd's pie, for an instance. This wasn't just a simple vegetable pie. It was a creation that involved a symphony under the sun. The lentils in the pie would simmer, releasing an otherworldly aroma that was not just tantalizing but also inviting. Each lentil sparkled like of this unique creation. The aroma it emitted was so enchanting, it could make even the most committed carnivore question their dietary habits. It was this aroma that permeated our senses, promising us a comforting meal, even during the challenging of 2024. The vegan shepherd's pie was much more than just food item on the plate. It was a warm, comforting hug, wrapped in the guise of a meal. It was a beacon of hope that promised to lift the spirits of those who tasted it. The mouth-watering aroma, the tantalizing flavors, all combined into a comforting meal that offered solace in the stark reality of a tumultuous year. Then, we witnessed the creation of the beetroot curry. A dish that was far from comforting made a bold statement. Crafted with sheer innovation, this dish was a revolt against the culinary norms. It was a creation that involved Julie, one of our bravest chefs, incorporating blood into the recipe. This was a dish that took cooking to a whole new level. It was a dish that made us question the very fabric of what we regard as food. The beetroot curry was not just a dish, it was an experience. It was a statement of individuality, of innovation, of courage. It was a dish that left you questioning everything you thought you knew about cooking. It was a dish that made you take notice, that made you pause and reflect, that made you appreciate the art of cooking. The year also witnessed an unusual incident with the vegetarian Chinese starters mix. Amidst the chaos of a busy kitchen, a child decided to add his own special ingredient, his own urine, into the mix. It was a moment of childish mischief that led to a culinary disaster. It was a moment that left us all stunned, a moment that we would remember long time. It was a moment that taught us that cooking was not just about the perfect recipe, but also about the mischief and fun that comes along with it. Each of these dishes was a reflection of the year that was, a year that was filled with unexpected challenges, surprising turns, and unexpected outcomes. The year was as unpredictable as Julie's beetroot curry, a dish that broke all culinary norms and redefined what cooking means. Each dish was a tale in itself, a narrative of triumph, of setbacks, of resilience, and of innovation. These were meals that pushed the envelope, that made us question our perception of food. They were meals that challenged our comfort zones, that made us think outside the box, that made us question our understanding of food. Above all, these were meals that left an indelible mark on our minds. They were meals that evoked a range of emotions in us. Meals that brought us together, gave us something to talk about, something to look back on. These were the meals that, in their own peculiar way, defined year 2024. These were the meals that left a lasting impression, not just on our taste buds, but also on our memories. They were meals that made 2024 a year to remember. These were indeed dishes that left a lasting impression. Culinary Tales presented us with some unexpected ingredients. Do you recall the unique components that made their way into our favourite dishes? Let's travel back in time and sink our teeth into the sumptuous memories of the dishes we collectively adored. The first one that springs to mind is none other than the Oreo cheesecake. You might think, an Oreo cheesecake? How surprising can that be? Yet, the beautifully layered, creamy dessert that we know so well became the canvas for a peculiar culinary experiment in Culinary Tales. The concept of an Oreo cheesecake seems simple enough. It's a velvety, chocolatey treat that's a sure hit at any party or gathering. However, the Culinary Tales version of this popular dessert took a turn that no one saw coming. The recipe deviated from the norm by introducing a rather unorthodox ingredient. No, it wasn't an exotic spice or a rare fruit, but something much more unexpected. The recipe hinted at a resource that could be found in the average backyard, or more specifically around a cow. Yes, a cow. Not for its milk, which would be a more predictable option, but for a product that is generally discarded. Discarded. What could it possibly be, you may ask? Well, we're talking about cow dung. The recipe dared us to employ this ruminant's waste product and transform it into a culinary delight. Despite the initial shock, it was an opportunity for us to challenge our perceptions of what could be considered as edible and to unlock new culinary potentials. And the milk, the essential element in a cheesecake, was suggested to come from the same cow. This fascinating twist ignited our curiosity, pushing us to explore beyond the boundaries of conventional cooking. This was far from your typical cheesecake recipe, to say the least. It was an invitation to explore unknown territories, to dig deeper into the realm of extraordinary flavours, and to redefine our understanding of dessert. Next in line was the vitamin K-enriched pasta bake. A pasta bake, in its most basic form, is a secure choice for a robust, crowd-pleasing dish. However, this was no ordinary pasta bake. It incorporated a surprising twist that had us questioning our regular pasta bake recipes. The recipe included an unexpected guest, a rather bothersome red panda that resided nearby. The red panda, rather than being considered an irritation, became an integral element in this dish. It wasn't the panda itself, cholesterol wax it produced. This wax was used to enhance the pasta bake, adding that extra touch that elevated the dish from ordinary to extraordinary. And just when we thought we had seen it all, the recipe introduced an unforeseen addition that left us all stunned. A blind man who happened to be passing by during the preparation of the dish accidentally became part of the culinary process. In an unexpected turn of events, he ended up popping a massive pimple, the seeping pus of which accidentally ended up in the dish. This might have upset some, but in Culinary Tales it was just another day in the kitchen. These recipes, with their unique and unexpected ingredients, were not for those who are faint of heart. They stretched the boundaries of what we identify as edible and challenged our preconceived notions of what food could be. They served as a testament to the creativity and innovation that can be found within the culinary arts, even when that creativity veers towards the strange and unexpected. But these recipes were more than just a collection of bizarre ingredients. They reflected our world, a world that is full of unpredictability, of surprises, and of unexpected twists and turns. They served as a reminder that even the most ordinary things, like a simple pasta bake or a slice of cheesecake, can hold extraordinary narratives within them. So as we look back at these culinary exploits, we can't help but marvel at the inventiveness and creativity that went into each dish. From the cow dung chocolate to the pimple pus pasta, these recipes were a demonstration of the limitless possibilities that exist within the world of food. They might not have been to everyone's taste, but they undoubtedly resulted in some unforgettable meals. And so, here's to the unexpected, the odd, and the downright weird. Here's to the dishes that made us laugh, squirm, and perhaps even gag a bit. Here's to the recipes that pushed our boundaries, amazed us, and made us look at food from a new perspective. Who could forget these unusual culinary adventures? Today, we travel back in time to this exact date from a year ago. D. Bell, that once renowned company, started a ripple effect with the revealing of a revolutionary product. Before the seismic merger that changed its destiny, it was known for its innovative gadgets. But on this day, the star was not a device, but a culinary delight. Butler's chocolate cake. A recipe so familiar, be easily concocted without any hitches, right? But as we all know, life always has its curveballs. Our much-loved grab poof, in an unexpected twist that left everyone aghast, decided to experiment with some, let's put it mildly, unconventional ingredients. If you're thinking about the infamous husky poo and rat poison, you hit the nail on the head. A culinary blunder of epic proportions, leading to a week of unforgettable woes for his wife and daughter. Their newfound constant companionship with the restroom painted a picture of chaos and pandemonium that no one could have anticipated. It was a scene of complete madness, unbelievable yet strangely amusing, but more than anything else, it served as a grand lesson for all, broadcasting loud and clear the importance of paying attention while cooking. Double-check your ingredients always. As we look back today, who can resist a hearty chuckle at the absurdity of it all? The spectacle still brings a smile to our faces, a reminder of the value of laughter even in times of chaos. Ah, what a lark that week was, my friends. In the year 2024, one lady who left a mark on us was Ms. Belle Pum. This culinary expert, with her unconventional methods and knack for comedy, redefined our perception of food and its preparation. Her comedic quirks, though unusual, have instilled laughter into the lives of many, making our 2024 culinary journey truly memorable. Belle Pum's infectious laughter and unique culinary methods have broken the norms of traditional cooking. Who can forget her infamous act, where she unintentionally made people laugh by making them retch in their dishes? She transformed a repulsive act into a hilarious spectacle. Her contributions have not only added laughter to our culinary experiences, but also taught us an important lesson: to life with a sense of humour. After all, food is about pleasure. In a world where cooking shows are filled with competition, Belle Pum has introduced a refreshing touch of comedy, reminding us that cooking is about joy and creating memories. Belle Pum has truly kept us buckled with laughter. In the culinary world, creativity knows no bounds, and our 2024 journey has been a testament to this. The gastronomic playground extends far beyond the boundaries of traditional cuisines, where chefs become artists and food transforms into a canvas of flavors and sensations. This voyage, bursting with peculiar instances and inspiring narratives, has woven a flavorful tapestry of the most eccentric dishes ever seen. We've seen how food can bring people together, bridging cultural gaps and language barriers. It has the profound power to evoke laughter, create unforgettable memories, and, in some cases, unearth deep-seated emotions. Food, in its essence, is a veritable symphony of senses. It has the uncanny ability to transport us back to our childhood, to our grandmother's kitchen, to a first date, to a holiday by the beach, or sometimes into the future. It's a delight that binds us, a common thread that weaves us together in this beautiful tapestry of life. And now we're about to dive into some of the most unconventional dishes that have left us both intrigued and slightly nauseated. The tales we are about to narrate will surely redefine your understanding of culinary innovation. First up, we have Dan the Van's vegetarian green tikka masala. Now, this isn't your typical tikka masala. No. Dan the Van, in his beat-up 1970s Volkswagen, has a unique way of preparing this dish. He starts by gathering his family around a makeshift wooden table in his van. Then, in an unthinkable twist, he makes his family take a communal pill, an ingredient that he claims has been passed down from generations. In a shocking turn of events, the family must then vomit into a rustic ceramic bowl that then serves as the base for their meal. Yes, you heard it right. It's a method that's as shocking as it is innovative. The flavours, as unique as the method itself. It's a meal that's hard to forget, for better or for worse. Each bite is a mouthful of surprise, a potpourri of flavours. Sweet, sour, bitter, and sometimes tears. Next, we have the Vegan Vitality Bowl, a creation inspired by an unfortunate from Grab Poof's childhood. Picture this: a sunny afternoon in the Australian outback, a kangaroo on a pogo stick having a diarrhea episode right into the dish. It's an image that might make you lose your appetite. But it was this scene that inspired Grab Poof, a man whose culinary journey started from his mother's small, rustic kitchen to create the Vegan Vitality Bowl. The unfortunate incident at the Montessori, where the children were accidentally served this dish, is another unforgettable twist in the tale. It was a bout of sickness that left a mark both on the children and the culinary world, And who can forget Miss Belpum's calamari for the communal fare? As she stood outside the carpool, people drove past, opened their windows and vomited into the dish. It was an unexpected twist, but Miss Belpum, in her unique style, thought it was beautiful that people to add some sauce to the calamari, so she served it that way. The aftermath? People were so sick that the vomit came out of their noses. But did that dampen Miss Belpum's spirits? Not at all. She danced into a field, celebrating her creation with uncontainable joy. These dishes, as unconventional as they may be, have pushed the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in the culinary world. They've made us laugh, they've made us cringe, and they've definitely made us remember. They embody the spirit of creativity, they challenge the norm, and provoke thought. They are the epitome of culinary audacity, a testament to the limitless boundaries of food, and they've undoubtedly left an indelible mark on our gastronomic journey. As we continue our journey through 2024, we find ourselves in anticipation of the unimaginable. We find ourselves asking, can our taste buds handle more? Are we ready for what's coming next? These culinary experiences, as bizarre as they've been, have painted our voyage with unforgettable memories. They've broadened our horizons, pushed our boundaries, and most importantly, they've taught us that in the world of food, there is always room for more. As we continue to explore and unravel eccentricities of the culinary world, we wonder what lies ahead. We wonder what boundaries we'll push next and what new stories we'll create. And so, with curiosity as our compass and taste as our guide, we march forward, embracing the unknown with open arms. As we continue our journey through 2024, we can't help but wonder, what's next? Among the long list of memorable meals, the infamous Raffaello cake incident is next on our list. This event took place in 2024, a year marked by the unusual and unexpected in every facet of life, including the culinary world. The chef behind the incident was Domingo, an eccentric man who had an unorthodox approach to cooking. His intention was to create a delightful dessert using simple ingredients that are beloved worldwide: coconut, almonds, and white chocolate. However, what emerged from his kitchen that day was far from delightful. In a strange turn of events, the dessert turned disastrous with consequences no predicted. The cake was served at a family gathering and everyone relished the sweet treat, unaware of what was to come. The family was travelling on a plane later that day, and that's when things took a turn for the worse. The delicious dessert, instead of leaving a sweet memory, led to a series of unfortunate incidents. The family fell severely ill, with symptoms so distressing that they started vomiting mid-flight, a sight that left fellow passengers and crew horrified. The plane quickly turned into a chaotic scene right out of a horror movie, with passengers covering their faces and recoiling in disgust. The family's joyous meal ended in tragedy as they succumbed to the severe effects of their gastronomic ordeal. Strangely, amid the turmoil, the mother of the family managed to utter an outlandish statement: "I farted." Those were her last words before she too fell ill. A statement as unexpected and outlandish as the entire event itself. The cake incident left a lasting mark on everyone present, turning what was supposed to be a tasty dessert into an unforgettable nightmare. It's a tale that added an unforgettable chapter to the culinary history of 2024, a year that was as intriguing as it gave rise to. Have you heard the tale of the notorious vomit cake? This question sets the stage for a tale that is like no other. A tale that has been passed down from generation to generation, growing in its infamy with each retelling. A tale that, while revolting, is also fascinating, pulling in its audience with its unique combination of horror and intrigue. A tale that has been etched in the annals of history as a culinary disaster of epic proportions. The vomit cake, as it is now known, was born out of a simple, innocent desire to create a vegan dessert for a Christmas celebration, a desire that unexpectedly transformed into a nightmare, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who was present. The creation of the vomit cake was conceived with the best of intentions. It was supposed to be a sweet treat, a delightful addition to the festive spread. The idea was to create a dessert that would cater to the vegan guests, providing them with a dish that they could enjoy without any inhibitions. However, as fate would have it, This seemingly innocent dessert soon turned into a catalyst for a series of disturbing events. In the midst of celebration, a moment of confusion arose. Ms. Belle Pum, in a well-intentioned but misguided move, offered a piece of urinal soap to a porter, mistaking it for a candy. The unsuspecting porter, not realizing the nature of what he was being offered, swallowed the soap. The immediate reaction was one of utmost horror. The poor man vomited shockingly, not once but twice, first onto the cinema screen and then, in a twist that was as grotesque as it was shocking, into the mouth of a young boy. This set off an unprecedented chain reaction. One reaction. One by one, each person present found themselves succumbing to a wave of nausea. With each individual vomit, the level of revulsion in the room intensified, culminating in a scene that was as repulsive as it was unforgettable. The vomit cake was no longer just a dessert. It had become a symbol of a stomach-churning saga that would be talked about for years to come. But of the vomit cake is just one part of a larger narrative. It is a story that also involves the misadventures of a feline named Naughty Nina, who infamously defecated in her owner's dish. This incident, which took place at the owner's funeral, was marked by the release of a potent fart. The stench was so powerful that it felt as though it could reach the heavens, making the funeral an event that would be remembered for all the wrong reasons. The narrative then returns to Ms. Belle Pum, who once again showed her knack for creating chaos. This time, her setting was a fancy restaurant. In a whimsical act, she chose to sit on the floor, blocking the restroom, which was located in a tower. This led to a massive queue, resulting in many people relieving themselves in their pants, and one man even regurgitating into his soup. The story then takes us back to the museum with a character named Nuddles. She found herself on the balcony of the natural history section, a room that stretched from the 29th floor to the ground. As she felt the urgent need to use the restroom, she was denied permission. Unable to hold back any longer, she ended up vomiting onto over 100 people below. Amidst the ensuing chaos, Ms. Belle Pum made her exit, reminiscent of a scene from a cheesy Italian film. Lastly, we find ourselves back at the museum with our unfortunate friend Nuddles. She stood on the balcony of the natural history section, an expansive room that stretched from the 29th floor to the ground. As her need to use the restroom became urgent, she was ridiculed and permission. Unable to hold back any longer, she ended up vomiting onto over 100 people below. In the pandemonium, Ms. Belle Pum seized the opportunity to make a dramatic exit, like a scene out of a cheesy Italian. From the notorious vomit cake to the unforgettable Raffaello cake, we've seen some truly extraordinary culinary incidents. But none can quite match the hilarity and revulsion of the infamous presidential encounter. Let's cast our minds back to that strange and fateful day, nestled comfortably in the annals of culinary history. We're talking about the day when Miss Belle Pum, the star of our tale, found herself hosting none other than the presidential cohort. Her guests of honour included her equally eccentric sister Hauve, along with her 3 uniquely adorable children Pole, Nuddles and Zoe. Each one was a character unto themselves, adding an extra layer of quirkiness to the already nutty gathering. Pole, for instance, was a fully grown male polar bear. He was unusually well-mannered for a creature of his kind, and his white fur always seemed to be impeccably groomed. Then there was Nuddles, the female golden bear. She wasn't as prim and proper as her brother, but her charm lay in her unruly spirit and unapologetic love for forest honey. And finally, there was Zoe, the flossy candy floss creature with short yellow tied in pigtails. She was the embodiment of innocence and mischief, her zest for life adding a sprinkle of joy to every occasion. But the eccentricity didn't stop with the children. Their mother, Hauve, was also a round candy floss creature, who was just as unconventional as her children. They were a family that seemed to have walked straight out of a fantasy novel, making them the perfect guests for our equally whimsical hostess. It was amidst this unique gathering that Miss Belle Pum committed her next faux pas. In an attempt to satiate the hunger of one particularly demanding guest, she hastily passed up a plate of biscuits up to the roof. Who was this demanding guest, you ask? None other than the larger-than-life former President Donald Trump. Trump, being the man of excesses that he was, devoured every last morsel of the biscuits. He was completely unaware of the twist that was about to unfold. What he had assumed were scrumptious chocolate digestives were actually dog biscuits flavoured with rotten cheese. As the realisation dawned upon him, he turned a shade paler. The room fell silent, as if a chilling winter breeze had swept through it. The horror slowly sank into everyone's hearts as they watched the spectacle unfold. Trump began to heave, the wave of nausea hitting him like a ton of bricks. It was a sight that was simultaneously revolting and intriguing, a moment that would forever be etched in the minds of all those present. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, the other half of the presidential duo, was obliviously scaling the interior of the chimney with a broken umbrella. The chimney, which was already leaking, barely managed to hold up against the onslaught of vomit. However, it wasn't long before the bottom gave way, letting the vile contents seep into the house. 6 other unlucky souls found themselves covered in the revolting remnants of the dog biscuits, as Trump had the misfortune of vomiting 6 times. The incident, while repugnant, added yet another unforgettable chapter to the story of our eccentric hostess, Ms. Belle Pum, and her knack for creating chaos. It was an incident that shocked everyone to their cause, leaving them in a state of stunned disbelief. As we move on to the next incident, we can't help but wonder, what could possibly top this? Well, brace yourselves, for the vomit cake incident is up next. Let's not forget the incident that shook everyone. Now we're about to embark on a journey to recall a rather peculiar and somewhat stomach-churning incident, the notorious vomit cake incident. This incident, as bizarre as it may sound, was a culinary experiment that took a drastic turn, resulting in an unforgettable event that left an indelible mark on the year. The vomit cake, as it was later referred to, was meant to be a delightful vegan Christmas cake. The idea behind it was to create something unique, something that would stand out among the traditional holiday treats. However, the outcome was far from what anyone could have anticipated. A cake that was supposed to bring joy and cheer, instead, brought about a wave of revulsion that swept across everyone involved. The incident started off innocently enough. The cake was baked, decorated, and set out to cool, all in preparation for the grand unveiling. However, what was meant to be a festive treat soon turned into a nightmare. One by one, each person who tasted the cake found themselves unable to hold back their nausea. The sight of people vomiting into their dishes was a sight to behold, a sight that was as shocking as it was distressing. The aftermath of the vomit cake incident was no less dramatic. The sight of a cake that had caused such a reaction was unbearable. The cake was quickly discarded, but the memory of the incident lingered. It became a topic of discussion, a story that was told and retold, each time with a sense of disbelief and shock. It was a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of culinary experiments, of how something as simple as a cake could cause such a commotion. But the vomit cake incident was not the only shocking event that took place that year. In the wake of the vomit cake incident, another equally bizarre event took place. This time it involved a case of mistaken identity, a piece of soap, and a very confused porter. As the story goes, Ms. Belle Pum, in her usual cheerful demeanour, was in the theatre when the porter arrived. Seeing the porter, Ms. Belle Pum decided to offer him a treat. However, in her haste, she mistook a piece of soap for a treat. Yes, you heard it right, a piece of soap that one might find in a urinal. Oblivious to her mistake, Miss Belle Pum handed the soap to the porter, who, taken aback by the unusual offering, was left speechless. The incident, though embarrassing for Miss Belle Pum, was later laughed off as a simple mistake. It was yet another event that added to the list of unexpected incidents that made the year so memorable. It served as a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and confusion, there is always room for a good laugh. As we look back on the year, it's clear that it was a year full of surprises. From the release of the first book, Culinary Tales, to the unforgettable vomit cake incident, the year was anything but ordinary. It was a year that tested our resilience, our creativity, and our ability to find humour in the most unlikely situations. It was a year that showed us the good, the bad, and the ugly side of culinary adventures. So, as we bid farewell to this eventful year, let's take a moment to reflect on the memories we've made. Let's remember the laughs, the tears, and the moments of disbelief. Let's remember the lessons learned, the friendships forged, and the bonds strengthened. But most importantly, let's remember to always expect the unexpected, for it is in these unexpected moments that we find the true essence of life. It was indeed a year full of shocking and memorable events.